On NTV, the main news. At this moment, Ilya Fedorovtsev is in the studio. Hello. Today, the long holiday weekend has begun in Russia. The country is celebrating its main national holiday, Russia Day. Exactly 35 years ago, the Congress of People's Deputies adopted the Declaration of Russian Sovereignty, marking the beginning of a new chapter in our country's history. Large-scale events are taking place from Vladivostok to Kaliningrad. Flags are waving and music is playing. Future rescuers held an unusual patriotic event for Russia Day. In one of the capital's parks, cadets and students from the Fire Service Academy of the Ministry of Emergency Situations, representing different regions, unfurled a giant tricolor flag. Its area is 1,256 square meters. Employees of the Ministry of Internal Affairs joined the celebration in an original way. They filmed a video called 100 Words About Russia.
Sky. Summer.
Sea.
Mountains.
Nature.
Vastness.
Beauty.
Value.
Justice.
Temple.
The tricolor appeared at the southernmost point of Primorsky Krai in the Resort Kasansky district. A 300 square meter flag was held by several volunteers. And here is the Russian flag against the picturesque landscapes of Peremusher Island in the northern Kurils. Activists unfurled the tricolor on the coast, having overcome a difficult journey. Here are more scenes from the Far East. On the missile cruiser Variag, signal flags were raised. There was also a ceremonial formation on the flagship of the Pacific Fleet, during which outstanding sailors were recognized. In the heart of Siberia, in Krasnoyarsk, a solemn flag-raising ceremony was held in honor of Russia Day. It took place at one of the highest points in the regional center, on Mykolaievskaya Savka, where a 100-meter flagpole is installed. There, in a ceremonial setting, school children received their first passports. In Nizhny Novgorod, a patriotic flash mob took place at Stroka, the spot where the Volga and Oka rivers meet. The scale of the event is best seen from a bird's-eye view. In Samara, a festival called Parade on the Volga was held in honor of the holiday. Motorboats, yachts, jet skis, sailboats, and even seaplanes took part in it. One of the main attractions was the riverboat Valery Chkalov. The main requirement was to have the tricolor flag on board. And of course, the new regions. In the DPR, National Guard officers together with volunteers handed out tricolor ribbons on the streets. Many people immediately pinned the gift to their clothes. More than 100 festive events are planned today in Sochi. It all started in the central square with the presentation of the country's main state symbol. The honor of raising the flag of the Russian Federation was given to participants of the special military operation. On the opposite shore of the Black Sea, in Yalta, a large-scale dance flash mob took place by the lighthouse. Volunteers and participants unfurled a giant tricolor flag along the embankment. Congratulations on Russia Day were also sent today from aboard the International Space Station.
All of us feel the brightest and warmest emotions for our country, pride in it, its history, and its great achievements.
Homeland is not just a place where you were born and live. It is a source of strength, where you feel a connection to the past with your heart and build a future for your children. Together, we are developing our country and making it better.
Happy holiday.
Today we celebrate the day.
The People's Front showed how foreigners living in our country congratulate Russians on the national holiday. Some prepare traditional dishes to share their culture, while others record video greetings in national dress. And some foreigners actively take part in collecting care packages for the front. As is tradition, on Russia Day, Vladimir Putin presented gold medals to heroes of labor and awarded the state prize laureates. The ceremony took place in the St. George Hall of the Grand Kremlin Palace. The awards are given for achievements in science and technology, literature, and the arts, as well as for outstanding accomplishments in humanitarian, human rights, and charitable activities. Among the heroes of labor is the renowned composer Alexander Zatsepin. Many beloved films would be unimaginable without his music. Next year, the maestro will celebrate his 100th birthday. Ilya Lyadvin reports from the award ceremony.
Nearly 20 of our outstanding compatriots have been invited today to the St. George Hall of the Grand Kremlin Palace. Right now, the recipients of state prizes in a wide variety of fields are on stage, and of course, the heroes of labor as well. By presidential decree, 7 Russians have been nominated for the highest honor at once.
Through your hard work, knowledge, talent, and generosity of spirit, you affirm the importance of education, culture, enlightenment, scientific, and creative pursuit. Your brilliant achievements have brought tremendous benefit to our motherland.
The first to receive the gold medal was Yuri Nikolaevich Dykov, one of the creators of Russia's nuclear shield, an outstanding physicist in his 80s who has dedicated most of his life to this field. His developments, some of which were created at the dawn of the nuclear era, are still relevant today.
Russian nuclear scientists. They are on my behalf at this moment. TH, thank you for your trust. And we, CATH, can assure you that we won't let you down. And all of them, this whole pack, will break their teeth on our nuclear shield.
He continues his work and now serves as a mentor for the younger generation of Russian scientists.
Eternal rest is just a dream for us. You see, in reality, we do have something to pass on to the next generation.
For her truly selfless work, without any exaggeration, Inela Yakonenko, the chief physician of Holyuka Hospital No. 2 in the Donetsk People's Republic, was named a hero of labor. Right now, the medical staff in Holyuka are under enormous pressure. The enemy indiscriminately attacks the city not only with artillery, but also with drones. In a single day, the hospital can receive up to 40 wounded civilians.
You make it to work, everyone is probably reading about us. And after work, too. If the situation is really tense, of course, we end up staying at work with our kids and families, spending the night at the hospital.
But despite the difficult situation, the team keeps working. The main group of doctors and the specialists who didn't leave in 2014 or in 2022 share the workload equally.
My family is there, my children are there, my sick are there. How could I leave? My colleagues? No, never. On the contrary, the more intense and active the fighting gets, the angrier I become, the harder we work, the more people we save, and we try not to leave work at all for weeks at a time.
Those who were unmatched last year were recognized by the president with state awards in the fields of science and technology, literature and the arts, human rights, and humanitarian work. Ilya Lyadvin, Dmitry Benedichuk, Alexander Belazarov, NTV.
And today as well, in the Kremlin, Vladimir Putin met with participants of the educational program for veterans and participants of the special military operation, Time of Heroes. As the president noted, this program was created so that the country's future would be connected with its heroes. According to the head of state, it is they who are paving the way for Russia's victories.
Russia.
The path to this victory, or these victories, is being paved precisely by people like you and your comrades, your fellow soldiers, who right now, as you know better than anyone else, are, at this very moment, fulfilling their duty to the motherland on the line of contact, on the front. About 4,500 people who participated in the selection for the second round of the Time of Heroes program were on the front lines. Vladimir Putin emphasized this program is yet another opportunity to continue serving the motherland. A third group of Russian servicemen has been returned from Ukrainian captivity. In exchange, a group of Ukrainian armed forces prisoners of war was handed over to Kiev. The official statement from the Ministry of Defense says that the freed soldiers are now on the territory of Belarus, where they are receiving the necessary psychological and medical assistance. In the near future, the servicemen will be transported to Russia to undergo treatment and rehabilitation in Ministry of Defense hospitals.
I'm in Belarus right now. You got it? Then we'll go to Moscow. Basically, after that, everything will be good. I'll call when I get the chance. I can't call my mother. Is she alive and well?
Is everything okay at home?
Yeah, everything's fine. Don't worry. Probably just working in the garden. Tell her that I'm alive and well. I just don't know. I can't remember any of the numbers. All my legs and arms are intact. We're flying to Moscow in about 2 hours.
Russia. The Kiev regime constantly disrupts the schedule for prisoner exchanges, despite the agreements reached in Istanbul during negotiations between representatives of Russia and Ukraine. Police in Ahmedabad, where a passenger plane crashed earlier today, stated that there are most likely no survivors from the disaster. There were a total of 242 people on board the airliner. The plane crashed in a residential area almost immediately after takeoff. Eyewitnesses managed to capture the moment of the crash on video. The Boeing was able to climb to an altitude of 250 meters, after which the pilots sent out a distress signal and the plane disappeared from radar screens. A fire broke out immediately after the crash, and several blocks were covered in black smoke. Debris was scattered over a large area. Several residential buildings caught fire. One of the wings is lying in the middle of the road. The main part of the Boeing fell onto a dormitory for doctors. 5 people died there, but more than 40 were rescued. Roads in the area of the crash site are blocked off. The airport from which the airliner took off has temporarily suspended all flights. The plane crash in India was the first for Boeing's 787 Dreamliner aircraft, although over the years of operation, dozens of technical failures have been reported, including engine malfunctions. Experts believe that most likely the aircraft went down after colliding with birds. However, the authorities have not yet officially announced the cause of the crash. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner operated by Air India was flying from Ahmedabad to London. Among the passengers were citizens of Britain, Portugal, Canada, and the majority on board were Indian nationals. The Russian Consulate General reported that there were no Russians on board. Vladimir Putin expressed his condolences to the Indian authorities in connection with the tragedy. Today, on Russia Day, the highly anticipated film More Than Football was released in theaters nationwide. It stands out vividly among other films dedicated to outstanding sporting events. Humor, intense personal dramas, and the unique realism of the characters, these are what viewers are noting in the new movie. Alexander Kanevich also attended the premiere.
Joe, our national team has potential.
10. This movie premiere is big, important, and necessary. And it's very timely. The release on Russia Day is no coincidence, because More Than Football, as the title suggests, is a film not only about sports, but about strength of spirit and faith in the country, in the team, and of course, in oneself. Even in those moments when it seems like the chance of victory is 1 in 1,000.
Get the team ready for 3 games. Your goal is at least 1 draw with the Bulgarians. That's it, you're done. What if we make it out of the group? We're not getting out of this group.
It's a very interesting story because it's true. We're used to seeing a lot of football movies where everything is sugar-coated, where all the players are just sweethearts, if I can use that word. But that doesn't mean we're portraying them as something they're not. We're just showing them as they really are.
The plot is based on the sudden and unexpected call-up of the Russian national team to the Euro Cup, which happened after the sensational disqualification of the England team because of the chaos caused by their fans. There are only a couple of weeks left before the championship starts, and it's hard to even call this handful of scattered players, who aren't really eager to play together, a national team. Turning them into a real team seems like an impossible mission.
They'll tear each other apart in no time. They've been kicked out from everywhere. Troublemakers, hooligans, washed-up players, lame ducks.
But these are exactly the kind of people you need.
The cup will be ours.
But then the controversial and notorious Coach Sorokin, played by Ivan Oklobistin, steps in. He calls up players to the national team who seem to have already been written off from big-time sports. Despite being a work of fiction, the idea for the film was inspired by the real story of the Danish national team in 1992, when the team unexpectedly made it to the European Championship after Yugoslavia was disqualified. The filmmakers adapted this drama to Russian realities, adding humor and plenty of spectacular, truly athletic action.
The Russian national team, okay, we don't know if that's realistic or not, but basically, in football history, there was a story like that with the Danes. When they were all on vacation at the beach, they got called up, and they actually won. So, in a way, it's not really anything extraordinary. Well, actually, it is. It's a miracle. That miracle really did happen in real life.
The hardest part for the coaching staff is convincing the team captain, Ivanov, who was played by Alexei Vorobyev. His daughter Dasha is seriously ill, and he doesn't want to go anywhere, knowing that they don't have much time left together. But it's her love for football and her faith in the team that help her father return to the field and to the national team, whose game now means everything for the girl's life.
She wants you to win the next match. And then another one. And the next one, and another after that. And this is just football. And your daughter is just a child. That's what keeps her going. I don't understand how, but it does. If you win, she has a chance.
There's love in it, and there's hope too. I think football has a huge number of fans and, apparently, a huge number of people who will gladly, and I hope they will gladly, watch the, slightly fantastical storyline of this film. But still.
The audience at the premiere, which took place at the Oktябрь Cinema in Moscow, recommends that everyone else go and watch it, regardless of age or their attitude towards sports in general or football in particular. On the screen, it's more than just a game. It's a reflection of our lives, where the main rivals aren't the strongest teams in Europe, but our own fear and self-doubt. By overcoming these, the main characters can achieve a true miracle, one that is so needed by the smallest and most devoted fan.
I promised my daughter that we would win.
You should have promised her a new Barbie instead.
Alexander Kanevich, Ivan Savinov, Daniel Levin, and Olesya Silivanova NTV Company.
That's all from us for now. Visit NTV. Are you? See you next time.